I would like to get to started. If you can just give us a quick intro on who you are, maybe tell us about, where were you before before you got started into working with us, and where are you now?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm Sophia Alonso. I am the owner of an online medical telehealth company. And when we first got started, we were just beginning, right? So we hadn't even run ads, and we were having like a trickle of leads come in. We worked with Tiago's team, and initially what we did is they had like a comprehensive breakdown of like how the company works. Wanted to get to know us, and then of course what the vision is for the creatives, which I think they do fantastic job at. And now, of course, as a result, which of course the results speak for themselves, but we are just in ads alone, seeing a revenue around $300,000. So
Yeah,
we're excited.
amazing. Amazing. That's exactly why I wanted to connect with you. I wanted to share this story and a little bit into how we managed to get this result. So I would like to go a little bit deeper and understand like what exactly were you struggling with before starting to work with us?
Yeah, so we are in the healthcare space, right? So like the niche itself, it has a lot of barriers to entry. You can't like before and afters, for example, like it's just very particular. And so we needed to be with a team that was, experienced in running ads and had a fundamental understanding of what could and could not be done in order to protect, of course, our accounts and to even see results. And so that was something that was really important with us, with Tiago's team, was like really getting clear on the fact that this was going to be a challenge. And if they were up for the challenge, and of course they've superseded our expectations, but if they were up for the challenge, it was going to be pretty hard initially whenever we first got started.
Absolutely. I remember that time, and I was always very excited about working with you. I remember the challenge, and I can tell that even the team, they recognized that this was a challenge. But I've told you this since the beginning that um, because of those barriers to entry, that's why I think that we could really succeed with this, and I think we can see that like 4 months later now. So yeah, amazing. But we definitely did struggle a little bit with the restrictions. That's
Mhm.
definitely something important to note. But I think now we're at a good place where we definitely found the creators that are working and what's performing. That's why we managed to scale to this level. So amazing. To understand a little bit more about your experience still, I'm curious to know. So then on that process, in that beginning process, when you were maybe approaching other agencies, etc., like how did you ended up making the decision of moving forward into working with us? Like what kind of made you, make the decision to actually move ahead and start working with us?
Yeah, so we had been interviewing other companies, right? And something that was really important to me was, first of all, getting really clear over their background of like the history of what other companies they had worked with. I really wanted someone that did have a fundamental understanding of the health space. And Tiago's team did have that. And we did vet them, like we did research and figuring out like what companies we think that they worked with, and we went through details. We also had meetings, a couple different ones with Tiago prior to even making the decision to move forward. And so I really appreciated the patience that he had with us, and like the slight trepidation of whether or not this would be the company that we wanted to move forward with. But ultimately, it came down to the fact that I thought that he had a very well composed structure of the onboarding process. It was very straightforward. It was something that, I knew for me, for example, that I needed someone that would be able to do much more hands-on, because of all the other things that we were trying to accomplish. And so I wanted someone that had it very structured over like this was going to happen, this is going to happen next, this is what we'll tentatively see in the beginning, and then this is how we plan to scale you. And so as a result of just how comprehensive that initial onboarding was, I was like, you know what, this is something that I think he's well thought through. The company does sound like they would get us good results. Why don't we move forward with them?
I appreciate those words. Like I said, it for me, honestly, it's very nice when potential clients notice these things because I do put a lot of thought into these things, like the website, like the emails that we send, everything. So when I hear this, it fills me with joy because I always think that I'm the only person that notices this, but actually, no, they do make a difference. So I appreciate that. That means a lot to me. Awesome. Other than that, like I'm curious to know. So we started around October. Now it's like February, end of January. What are some of the biggest milestones that like your business went through as you're working with us?
Initially, I think the biggest milestone, actually, hands down, is consistency, right? That's really what you're wanting to see with any sort of marketing. Consistency of lead flow, consistency of then from lead flow to conversions, wanting to make sure that, your ROAS is consistently like increasing, right? But more importantly, also, are the cadences with Tiago's team something where it's like it's productive, or moving forward, we're making progress, we're also figuring out how to align the marketing itself in the ad to like the conversion of the funnel, right? Like, is everything like adding up over time? Because we want to have cohesion for our customers or our patients. That's really important to me.
Yep.
So we were able to meet on a weekly basis actually with Tiago and really deep dive over like, these are the discounts we want to do, these are the promotionals, how can we align the funnel as well as the ads, as well as the initial information over the ads themselves, so that it is a cohesive onboarding for any of our patients or potential patients. And I think that that's really important, right? For like any marketing that you have, where it's consistent, your message is consistent all the way through. And I really liked that.
Absolutely. And I think that that was also the key for our success, was the fact that we were so connected throughout the process. That's how we're able to like iterate and really figure out like an offer, figuring out a messaging that's actually working correctly on the ads.
Mm-hmm.
Which, that does, I do want to give some credit to your team as well, because of the fact that you guys like always implemented whatever is needed as quickly as possible. So that definitely just made our process a lot smoother. And I think that that helped immensely in order for us to achieve these sort of results. Amazing. So I think, we're just wrapping things up. I just want to ask you actually two more things. One is like, what is your, now that you worked with us for like 4 months, what is the thing that you like the most? What is the thing that kind of like, now that you're like 4 months in, what stood out the most to you?
Yeah, so let me actually even, I'll preface this with a story. When Black Friday was about to begin, this is obviously like a big time for most companies, right? And you want to get your ads really aligned, you want to get everything in process ready to go, so that by the time Black Friday arrives, you don't need to worry about whether or not your idea of what your promotion will be will actually convert. And we met with Tiago earlier and we were like, you know what? Like, these are the different ideas that we have. Like, which one is going to be the one that's the most successful? And he was like, why don't we actually run this ahead of time, see how well it does, and then we can iterate as a result. And because we did that, we found out that our initial offer did not convert and it was not good. But because we had preemptively met with Tiago and his team and had gone through the process of testing different creatives and different promotionals, we were able to, by the time Black Friday came around, find a really good offer, and it blew my expectations out of the park. And so I think when you have a company that cares enough to want to make sure that you do succeed and they are proactive in their approach, that's very important. So something that I see now, even, right, is like, we're planning, for example, to incorporate different mediums of marketing. And I already know that we're going to be breaking down, the goals or the future projections of what we want to achieve with the new mediums of advertising. And I know that we'll be successful as a result of it, because we're going to be very aligned in like what you think will be most successful, because you are the expert, but in what I also, want to see for results. And so I think that having alignment with your marketing team is obviously pivotal, right? Like, that's what
Absolutely.
makes it run.
Yeah. So the team meetings have been key. Yeah, absolutely. And again, but this goes back to you also being open to just kind of listening to our expert advice. I think
Yeah.
that's been the key. So definitely also want to say that I appreciate that. Awesome. So then to finish, just curious, what would you say to someone that's considering working with us?
Don't consider it. Do it. It's worth it. No other words really need to be said. So, or really,
Awesome.
actually, don't work with them, because then you'll take his time and energy, and the marketing team's time and energy, and we don't want that. So that's what I'd say.
Amazing. Thank you, Sophia. Appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Of course. Bye bye.
All right. All right.